I was not ready for this to go live. Replay gang, give me a couple minutes. See if I can get this adjusted properly. Ugh. I feel like my camera's like, or my mount is sliding down. I don't know, that may not be the case. JDQ, what's happening, man? I need to get some power supply on this phone. Get some power supply here. What's up, bro? How's life down there in Louisiana? Eddie, what's going on? Oh, let me... Hang on, where's my other phone? I gotta find my other phone. Hang on. Let me find my other phone. There it is. I gotta find my main phone. Nice hoodie. Well, it's kind of an embarrassing hoodie. I was just telling somebody, and my wife literally just called me. Hopefully you guys can't hear that bunk heater. It's cranking. I've got my mic on, which usually helps with that. But my bunk heater is just absolutely cranking right now. Oh, so I was talking to, who was I talking to? Somebody was all proud, and I understand it. He's proud that he got his prime safety vest because he's in orientation, and I understand that. I remember I was excited too, but I told him, I was like, man, you should have brought your own safety vest, because if you wear a prime safety vest, it just screams, hey, it's a good chance I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I have my safety vest. Let me get this. So here's my safety vest, which is also Bears. You ain't gonna see me out there in a prime safety vest. So, and this is a safety hoodie, and I also have the safety jacket version of this. But then I told him, I was like, man, but here's the truth. I don't know that after this season, I don't know that a Bears safety vest is any less embarrassing than a prime safety vest. Jim C, what's going on? Yeah, JDQ, it should calm down here in a bit. I have my door open, so my I mean, it's just, the bunk heater's had that nice purr all day because it's not really that cold. It's only 24 outside, so it hasn't had to chug like that. But I have my door open, and so now it's trying to reheat the truck, reheat the cabin. This will be better. I didn't listen to the safety meeting. What happened? What did I miss? I'll have to go back. I was asleep. Did I say let's talk live? Or last talk? I'll have to edit that. I did not mean... I didn't... I wasn't ready to go live. There's something I did with this that made it live without me being ready. So yeah, ignore the last live. Let me see if I can edit it on this phone. Hang on. I don't think I can, but let me see. I doubt it'll let me. Yeah, it won't let me edit it on this. And I don't think I can on here, so you guys will just have to bear with it until after the live. That was not clickbait to get everybody to come in. No, it's not the last live. That's some funny shit. Let's see. Hello from Dixon, Illinois. Yeah, where's everybody at? How's the weather? I'm in Indiana, and we were only supposed to get 1 to 3 inches today, and we've gotten probably closer to 6. I'm not afraid of tonight's drive, but what I am afraid of is getting out of the spot that I'm in with an empty trailer. I don't know how that's going to go. It's going to be interesting. Let me just put it that way. It's going to be interesting. I've staged myself so that I only have 10 miles to go to the shipper tonight. The shipper doesn't allow you to drop your trailer early and does not have overnight parking. So I staged myself. My trailer's cleaned out. The fuel is full, and I'm ready to go. I staged 10 miles away, and I'm not worried about the 10 miles to get there. I mean, I've been driving in this shit every night for a week, but what I am worried about is getting out of this damn spot. I'm definitely a little concerned with that. Let me try to... I got a point that I wanted to make. James, get to work. Yeah, man, it's too early. On a 10, Iowa 80, nice. Big Duck, I bet you got not this shitty weather up there. Probably cold. Los Angeles, Brandon, how's it going out there, man? Roadshow Trucker, I gave you a pretty hefty plug in this morning's video. Or no, that was Roadshow Trucker, yep. 5 cool points deducted for being a Bears fan. Tease. Bears, Cubs, Bulls, and Blackhawks, man. South Side can burn. I don't care about White Sox. JQ, I forgot what it was like to have an APU. Our state trucks don't have that mess because when we're on jobs, they stay running. Yeah, man. Hopper, I'll talk about the service failure issue here in just a second. Let me catch up real quick. Just boring as usual. Fake laughs, Jim C. Fake laughs, yeah. Yeah, man. Oh, those fake laughs. I know exactly what you're talking about. JQ, hey, don't change it. Drives up engagement. I'm in Grand Island, Nebraska. Nice, Hopper. So you got out of it too. Laredo, Justin. Man, that must be nice right now. Iowa 80 is cold but fine. Nice in Atlanta. Oh, we got some snow in Atlanta, right? I heard Atlanta was all locked up. They didn't know how to deal with what was going on. James, you made it to your 01. That's good. Some snow, a lot of rain. Okay, taking an oversized load from KC to South Carolina. Luckily, they put it off a few days because of the storm. Nice, Jared. 32 degrees D's. Nice. Cold but dry, says Big Duck. Thanks, man. Okay, so real quick, before we get to the service failure thing, because I think you guys might take some pleasure out of this. There was a service failure involving my truck 2 nights ago. But let me so we got 45, almost 50 in the chat. Let's get up to 25 likes and I'll tell you about it. 25 likes real quick. It's free, it's easy. While I catch up on these comments, just tap that thumbs up while you're here. Babe, I told you that I just told you, texted you, told you that I was live. Jenna says, over here doing lives and ignoring wife. Hopper, you'll be following it to Atlanta. Roadshow Trucker, thanks, man. Getting ready to watch that video. I appreciate him. Yeah, Roadshow Trucker, I cannot believe your name wouldn't come to my head in that video. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to give him a hefty plug in this video because that was hopefully that gets us even for me forgetting your name. And the thing that sucked is I remembered it right after the video. I was like, oh, fuck, Gary. But I wasn't going to go back and reshoot the video. 5 more likes, we'll get into the service failure. You have the worst memory. Oh, yeah, I do. Hey, Gary, yes, my wife is in chat, and I think the last 2 of her birthdays were probably the first 2 birthdays that I actually remembered what day it is, and her birthday is New Year's Eve. So I don't even really know how old I am. I'm going to be honest with you. Four more thumbs up and we'll get into the story. So I think I'm caught up on the comments here. Welcome in for those just joining. I haven't gotten into my story quite yet. We're waiting on 25 thumbs up, but I hope everybody's safe out there, man. It is just an absolute cluster fudge. Tommy smacked my head. Yeah, well, here's the thing, guys. Like, it was just hard for me to ever remember if it was New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. That was the struggle. I remembered that it was one of those 2 days, but I just had the hardest time for a long time remembering which one of those days it was. All right, we got the 25 thumbs up. Thank you guys, really appreciate that. Sitting home, only got 4,700 miles. Only 4,700 miles? Beer gut. That is not my truck, man. I'm on here, I'll tell you what got... You guys want to see the load I'm picking up tonight? Let me make sure I'm not showing trip numbers and all that jazz. Here it is. 72 miles for, what is it? $637. Almost $9 a mile. It's a wide open drop and hook on both ends. Wide open drop and hook on both ends. So I'm gonna go pick that up tonight. Well, I say wide open. I can drop it anytime after 0100 tomorrow. So I'm gonna pick it up at like 11:30 tonight, run it over there, drop it off, and bada boom, bada bing. Man, I don't run a lot of miles. I don't put a lot of miles on my truck. If I were at 4,700 miles, fuck that, man. I like to keep my miles under 2,200 per week. That's really what I'm striving for. Hopper, yeah, $19 for fuel. I filled my tanks in Illinois and treated all my fuel and everything. So fuel is not going to be a concern for me for the next few days. Hopper reminds you every year. Yeah, Atlantic got some snow. It started at 7 p.m. Oh, Team Estes. Okay. Yeah, okay, Team. Well, that's different. Do you have to request short loads or do they just send... Ghost Cat, it was on load choice. It was one of the 3 on load choice. It was the 3rd one down. So I opened up the first one and read all the details. And you got to be quick with load choice too, because you have to understand that those loads are potentially being sent out to other trucks or maybe looked at by other drivers. And I've had it on many occasions where I say, yes, book this load, and it'll say that load is no longer available. So you can't dilly-dally when you're looking at load choice. But I was looking at the first one, kind of going over the details. I'm like, I don't really want to do that. It's live on both ends. It's paying $1.90 a mile, but it gets me sort of out of the weather. So I'll keep that on the back burner. Then the second one was like, okay, this is all right, but it's got a day 2 extra on it, you know. I don't know about that. So I opened a third one, and that was the third one down. I was like, what? Of course, yes. Damn, $9 a mile, almost. Yes, definitely seen the Armageddon that is Los Angeles. What truck we did? Jeez. Yeah, Beer Gut, my truck is like 3.5 years old, and I got 340,000 miles on it. Not sure where you are, but be safe. Mr. Not Nice, I'm in Indiana. Yeah, those fires are definitely horrible. We used to run Riverside, California every week. All right, hold your questions if you have questions. Let me get through the topic of this video. First of all, it is not my last live. It was supposed to be Let's, but for some reason there's something different on the YouTube app today, and it doesn't get me to the screen where I can decide when to go live. Once I save the settings, it was live. So I can't go back and edit it. But like I said at the beginning of the video, for those just joining, I'm definitely going to deal with weather tonight again, but I'm not really concerned. I mean, I got to go 10 miles with an empty trailer, but that's fine, you know, and it's going to be through snow, but that's fine. I'm more concerned about getting out of this damn spot. This is, I got an empty trailer, and man, we'll just see how this, it could be interesting getting out of this spot. So 2 nights ago, so let me get through this, and then we'll pick up on the comments. So if you're firing a bunch of questions and stuff, I may not get to them until I get to the end of this. I just want to explain, and I'm going to do a regular video about this too. So 2 nights, let's see, what is today? Today's Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. Wednesday, while I was asleep, I got a pre-planned proposal for at 1:15 p.m., 13:15, that was supposed to be picked up at 10 a.m. that day. Now, I was sleeping. You know, I really don't like I ain't getting up if I'm asleep. You know what I mean? For most Prime messages, like I might glance at it just to make sure it's not saying, hey, your reefer ain't working or something like that. But if it's a proposed load or something and I'm getting good sleep, no, I'm going back to sleep. Like don't wake me up for stupid shit, you know? So then I wake up and I'm like brushing my teeth and getting ready because I was at the Olney yard in Olney, Illinois, and I just had to bounce over 2 miles to that Walmart DC to get unloaded. And I glanced at it. I didn't really pay that much attention to it, but I glanced at it. I figured I'd look at it when I got over to Walmart because I had a live unload, so I figured I had some time. So the only thing that I really saw was 10 a.m. and that I really paid attention to. So I assumed that was 10 a.m. the next morning, right? It was 240 miles away. I was just now getting to Walmart. I assumed it was 10 a.m. the next morning. Now, I didn't accept this load. I never acknowledged it. I never said, yes, I'll do it. I just kind of was like, yeah, I'll take a look. Well, I get over to the Olney Walmart, and I can't get anything. At the Olney Walmart, I can't do anything other than make phone calls. Like there was just basically no data. So I couldn't even pull up all the information. I couldn't get anything to load in the Prime app. So I'm like, fine, not, you know, whatever. I determined that while I was getting unloaded, well, I'll just go get this. I'll just run this up. It's not a big deal. Like I don't care what the details are. When I'm done, I'll pull over to that Love's, which is right around the corner, where I had 5G you know, ultra fast, whatever it's called. This guy's slipping right here, and he's probably loaded. So it's going to be interesting to see if I can get out of here. So anyway, I get unloaded, I pull around to that Love's and start looking at the load, and it's like, you know, it's like 5-alarm fire, you know. At that point, the 01 was already way blown, because again, it was supposed to be picked up at 10 a.m. that day, not the next morning, that day. Like, and not a window either. It was 10 a.m. That was the time. So this is like 8:45 p.m. Central that I was done at Walmart getting unloaded. So and the full dispatch comes in, and at that point in time, I never accepted a load. I didn't reject it, but I'm like, hey, I'm just going to give this hell and, you know, go see about getting a washout. Oh, I just saw this guy just completely eat shit in the snow. Where is he going? Is he going to dump? I think he's going to dump piss. Oh no, he's got a tiny little dog. His dog sunk into the snow. Can you guys even see that dog? Look at that dog. Oh man. The dog's like the size of a hamster. Dude ate shit with it. Oh my God. I hope you guys can see that little dog, because he dropped that dog in the snow and it just sunk into the snow. Oh, Jenny, you can't see it. All right, so let me hurry through the story, and I'll get to some comments for a bit. Man, that bunk heater is just not going to be quiet, is it? Jenna, you could see that he dropped that dog into the deep part of the snow, and the dog just went thump and vanished. If he gets closer, I'll show you guys again. That thing is tiny. It's like the size of a hamster. So, Kankakee, Illinois, I think that's how you pronounce it, Kankakee Tank Wash, you're going to get thrown under the bus. And not only are you going to get thrown under the bus, you got a 1-star review, and I took a video that I'm sending to Sam at Prime to hopefully get you guys ripped of your 24-hour status in the Prime app. You reap what you sow, and I hope you pay a price. So anyway, I'm in Olney, Illinois, and I'm like, okay, I can pull this load off, but it's going to be by the skin of my teeth, man. It's going to have to be perfectionist. The 01 was not a problem, because that's already way past, way gone. The 90 at Kroger was the problem. That was for 0700 that next morning. So I bust my butt up to Effingham. The Blue Beacon is just wrapped. I mean, it's wrapped. It probably would be 3 hours to get in to get a washout. So, okay, pull up the app, Kankakee Tank Wash. This is probably like 9:30, 9:45 or so. It shows up as 24 hours for reefer washouts. I call. Oh yeah, we're 24 hours. Okay, great. So I jam up to Kankakee. Even though it's a little bit out of the way, I get into line behind. There's a tanker trailer not attached to a truck behind each of those 4 bays. I walk in and they're like, oh yeah, we're really busy right now. You're going to have to go park and come back at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. This is like 1 in the morning. And they're telling me to come back at 8 a.m.? Like, yeah, we're really busy with other stuff. I'm like, but you're on your sign outside, it says 24-hour reefer washouts. In the Prime app, 24 hours reefer washouts. Oh yeah, we're open 24 hours, but we're really busy right now. So, come back at 8 o'clock in the morning for day shift, and they'll get you taken care of. I'm like, dude. So now I got to go all the way to Monet to Blue Beacon to get a washout, and this trailer was bad. Monet is way out of the way to get to this 01. So I go to Monet, and sure enough, they're closed down to 1 bay, and there's like 6 or 7 trucks in line. And at that point, it was like, I can't do this. Not only can I not get to the 90 on time, I don't even have the hours at this point to get to the 90 on time. So there's two things that aren't going to work. So what do I do? Well, remember, I hadn't accepted or acknowledged this load or rejected it or anything. So this was at 1 o'clock in the morning Central Time. I still had to drive some more. I still had to wait in this line, and I'd drive to more to get to the 01, and then I would have to drive into Eastern Time, Indianapolis, south of Indianapolis, to get to this 90 at 0700, which just wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen, and I didn't have the hours even if I could make it happen. So I opened up the app and I rejected the load. I hit reject because I had never committed to it. And then I followed it up with an explanation of, hey, this was just doomed for failure, and I did everything I could. I did not dilly-dally. I've been, from the moment I left Walmart. So I started really panicking, guys, because I have 6 years PTC, almost 6 years. I have almost 6 years of perfect safety. So I've got the ring with the diamonds and all that. And I'm like, dude, if my PTC record gets screwed because of this situation, I'm going to be livid. I am going up all the way up the ladder to protect my PTC record if there starts to be some service failure. And it really felt like it's probably 50-50 because it was so late in the morning. And I didn't say anything earlier, in the previous night about this. I thought this could be in fact, the night guy was like, it's a 50-50. I don't code service failures. Your fleet manager codes the service failures. Somebody has to get the service failure. Some department has to have a service failure. So you guys, that's a really important thing for you to understand. If there's a service failure on the load, it has to go to some part of Prime. Either you as the driver, or the fleet manager, or sales, or the service failure is on Prime, and it has to be assigned to somebody or something in Prime. We can't just be like, oh, it's not a service failure. No, it is a service failure. So I'm like, just at this point, just pissed about this whole situation. So I go pick up the load. I drive as far as I can on my clock. I park right across in Indiana, and then I write an email out explaining every step of this, so that I could have it on record. Every step of this, of hey, I was proposed this pre-plan while I was asleep at 1:15 p.m. that was supposed to be picked up at 10 a.m. And then I didn't get dispatched on it until almost 9 p.m. the day that it was supposed to be picked up at 10 a.m. I busted my ass. There was a chance, but because of this tank wash having false information in the app, and the washout screwed me up, and I got sideways, and it just wasn't possible. So I explained all this, and then he hit me back 10 minutes later and said this was just assigned. This is a service failure, but we've assigned it to sales for dispatching, for actually sending you that dispatch after you left Walmart. Sales never should have sent you that dispatch, because what happened was, by the time I realized that I couldn't make it happen, and this was what the night guy said, he's like, that we can't get it, that load is sideways now, we can't get a truck there because of weather. There's no way we can get the load to the 90 on time. It can't be covered. I never agreed to take the load. And sales never should have dispatched it to my truck. Now, I could have said no at the time they dispatched it, and that's where I thought this could come back on me. So I hope you're learning some things here, because I certainly learned some things. But at the end of the day, sales got the service failure, not me. And it actually ended up working out really well, because I delivered to Kroger last night, or early this morning, because they changed the appointment to 0100 this morning, Friday morning. And then I was able to get this $9 a mile load picking up tonight to run overnight. So everything ended up working out really well. But man, I was really stressing about it. I really thought my record was screwed. And at the end of the day, they never should have sent that load to my truck. With me being 250 miles away, and they proposed it to my truck before I even got to Walmart for a live unload, when it was supposed to be picked up at 10 a.m. It was crazy that they even proposed it to me. But here's the thing. They propose stuff all the time that's not possible. But by the time that dispatch happened, here's where I think it ended up being sales as service failure, because they should have known and been watching while I was at Walmart being unloaded that this was becoming a crap sandwich and pulled it off my truck, which I've had happen before. I've had a load that I wanted or something like that, and I was getting detention and stuff, and finally they're like, hey, they're taking this load off you so that they can put it on a truck that can make it. That's not what they did. They should have been watching it. They should have monitored. They should have not ever dispatched it to my truck. That's the conclusion they came to, and sales got hit with the service failure. So hopefully you can learn some things there, guys. Learn from my mistake of not just really looking at it before I even went to my 01. And that's very uncharacteristic for me. I made too many assumptions. Well, the big assumption that I made is when I just glanced at it and saw 10 o'clock a.m. for a pickup, I just assumed it was 10 o'clock the next morning. That was my biggest assumption. And I figured, well, I'll look at the details when I get, I got to get over to Walmart. I'll look at the details when I get over to the shipper. I should have really looked at it before I left to go to Walmart and said no right then and there. And I would have if I had really paid attention to that. So hopefully you guys can learn some stuff from that. Now you can. You see the dog. Poncho, no. Ghost Cat, Trump changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I heard they were changing it to the Gulf of Buckies. We're taking Greenland and Canada too. I don't want Canada. Washout, trailer washout at the Petro in Monet. Yeah, I know. That's where I ended up at. But remember, I started in Olney, Illinois, and my pickup was over south of Manuka. Way south of Manuka. Like, I should have cut west before Kankakee. Going to Monet was way out of the way. And that's where I ended up was at Monet, at the Blue Beacon. How's Prime on road? Do you have to wait on hold for hours? I have no problems at all with Prime on road. The only thing that I have problems with is a stupid app. The Face ID doesn't work, and not only do you have to log in with a password, you then have to wait for the stupid code every time you want to log. At least I do. The Face ID used to work, but it don't anymore. 412, what happens when you get a service failure though? I mean, it ain't that serious. Yes, it is serious, 412. It is very serious. A service failure is very serious. Jenna and I have known a few drivers who've had their contract ended over service failures. 1 a year, maybe not a big deal. 2 a year, you're kind of on a watch list. If you get 3 or 4 service failures, especially if it's on an OTIF load, you're probably, your days are numbered. A service failure is a very big deal with Prime. You may not think it is for 1 or 2, but I'm telling you, I know for a fact, it could. Don't get service failures. Just don't. I would have just blamed everything on Trump. That's what everyone else does. Timothy Turbo. 412, bro, that whole wildfire, yeah, that wildfire is nuts. I've seen over 6 different videos from mainstream news, like Democrat YouTubers mention the fire in Trump's name. Oh yeah, it's crazy. How to check if you have an alert about the camera. That's going to be in driver I. Is it iDriver or driver I? And it's going to be under events. Beer gut had to stir the chili. 412. Also, I know it's serious for you as a driver. I meant for the company, like sales. Yeah, it's very serious for sales. It's very serious. So 412, we've lost business because of service failures. When it comes time for contract negotiations, your service failure record is going to be taken into account for those contract negotiations. So a lot of these carriers that have a lot of service failures on their contracts or on their loads are, especially, like one-man operation, you get a couple service failures, that broker is not going to send you to that. Like it's game over. So for us, it's really important in terms of the rates we get, the amount of volume we get, so especially with like OTIF Walmart loads, man, they can be very, very painful for Prime. Let's see. Also, Ghost Cat, what's going on? Well, I just explained that whole thing, bro. 412 blows your mind. They put it all on us. Yeah, it's crazy. Jenna, not to mention you'll get shitty loads because so Jenna and I have heard, we're just aware that it's possible that the quality of your loads may diminish with service failures on your record. We'll just put it that way. He really knows how to have a bonfire. Yeah, sales can get fired over it. Yeah, exactly, Jenna. Beer got huge when negotiating. Yeah, exactly. 412. Okay, yeah, I guess that shit makes sense. What do I know? Just run steel coils, and it gets there when it does. Yeah, it's a little different with freight that has a very short shelf life. 412, don't mind me just talking like I know some. Hey, that's all of us, man. Beer gut, as long as it is not a steel coils for car body part plant. Okay, Ghost Cat, I heard if you drop a bad trailer or needs repairs, they'll give you a service failure. Man, I don't know if that's true or not, but I can tell you that there's a lot of drivers out here that deserve some sort of punitive action for the quality of the trailers they're dropping off. And it seems that there is no punitive. Here's part of the thing is you really got to be able to prove it. And it's hard to prove. I think if you can't prove it with beyond a reasonable doubt, if you can't prove it, then the driver shouldn't have punitive, because that's not fair. Like shippers, look, I was a yard dog. I know what kind of beating equipment around yards can take. So I think you have to be able to prove it. There has to be some sort of way that you can prove the driver caused it or even dropped it, knowing that was the case. If you can't do that, then you can't really punish the driver. But if there's a way to do that, and some of our customers really inspect the trailers. Like they'll take pictures all the way around. They want to know all the lights are working. They want to know the tires are in good condition. Something like that would probably prove it, because I get a lot of trailers that don't have working lights and stuff like that. That's annoying. Jenna's over here sending me funny shirts. So anyway, They absolutely can't assign one if they can prove it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got a message that if someone catches you outside without a lock. Oh man, I got to tell you guys a lock story from the other day. Automatic service failure. 6,500 fine for no lock if TSA checks air freight load. Oh, okay. You want to give me that shirt, Jenna? That's funny. Jowls. So, speaking of Olney, now, I'm never going to snitch on a driver for not having a lock on their trailer. It's kind of a little cringe for me, especially if the trailer's loaded, that a driver would have a loaded trailer without a lock on it. That is definitely cringe to me. But I'm never going to snitch on another driver for not having a lock on their trailer. That's on them. That's their responsibility. Ultimately, none of my business. Never going to happen. But I took my lock off of my trailer in Olney to go from that Love's to that Walmart, which is like 3/4 of a mile. The reason is I need to put some of the lock lubricant that I have in both of my alloy locks, and I did last night because they're both getting just so gunked up and salted up that I didn't want it. Sometimes it's a real battle, and it was really cold. I didn't want to be over at Walmart trying to get this lock unstuck if it was stuck, and it was stuck. So I did it at Love's knowing that I was just going to exit Love's, go 3/4 of a mile down the road or whatever, and then turn into the Walmart. So I go from that Love's to the Walmart without a lock on my trailer. Now, a prime tractor that was there to get an empty trailer pulled in behind me as I was at that Walmart. So I was so paranoid about it because I had just pulled in and then she pulled in behind me. I got out to go talk to her and I was laughing. I was like, hey, just so you know, I just took that lock off my trailer right around the corner at Love's. I don't want to be snitched on. I didn't just roll in from freaking, Minneapolis without a lock on my trailer. And she laughed at me and she goes, oh, I never put a lock on my trailer. I'd be the last person to snitch on you. She's like, I literally pull over 5 miles before I get to the terminal and put a lock on my trailer. I was like, oh my God. So she laughed and she was like, so don't snitch on me. And she's like, I definitely wouldn't. She's like, I don't give a shit. But I was like, oh my God, please don't tell me that. Don't ever brag to anyone that. Not that I'm never going to snitch on somebody for not having a lock on their trailer. But it's just a little cringe that you would be willing to sit somewhere with freight in your trailer and only have it secured with a piece of plastic with a number on it. That seems crazy to me. But, and I'm not saying locks stop every kind of theft either. But there's certainly a deterrent. Ghost Cat, I saw a yard dog crash 4 times in on back, then drove off. Yeah. Million Mile Man, I saw your brother last night. He was parked right next to me at Love's. I probably freaked him out because I think he was out pre-tripping his trailer or something, and I came out after showering and it was dark, Willie, and I just walked right up to his truck and stood in the front in the pitch black, just stood there waiting for him to come to the front of the truck. I'm sure he was like, okay, what the fuck's about to go down? But I knew it was Jarvis. So we talked a little bit. I gave him shit too. I told Jarvis, Willie, that the rumor going around all of Prime is that he was quite the ladies' man. And I'm pretty sure, Willie, that I watched a black man blush when I said that. I'm pretty sure he turned quite red. And then he said, "No, man, no, man, not right now, man." And I said, "Well, yeah, because you're sitting at a truck stop in nowhere in Indiana at Love's, but everybody knows, Jarvis, you got, You got hoes in different area codes. I was just messing. I don't, Jarvis, if you ever see this, I don't really have any details or knowledge of anything. I just know that Willie gives you shit about it. And maybe it's joking or whatever. I don't know. But I think it's funny. So I'm going to give you shit about it too. That shit had me cracking up, man. Let's see. Mr. Not Nice. You ain't throwing me under the bus at all if you're complaining about the advisory board. I thought the advisory board was a complete and utter total waste of my time. You ain't throwing me under the bus at all. City drivers deal with customers. Yeah. According to Prime, it's a safety customer concern. The locks losing customers would be your business. It affects everyone. Yeah, Michael, that's fine. I don't disagree with you, but I still ain't snitching on someone for not having a lock. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. Okay, I'm just going to be quiet about it. Like, I ain't snitching on a driver for not having a lock on their trailer. If you're the kind of person that does that, you should join the driver advisory board. That would be a really great fit for you. Million Mile Man, you did, yeah. Oh, yeah, Jarvis, yeah. Mr. Not Nice, I'm sorry, but 90% of our customers care about our law. Man, 90% of our customers don't even give a shit about the damn seal. You know how many times I have a customer just hand me a seal and be like, all right, have a safe drive. And it's like, okay, you do realize I could go 300 miles down the road and just go shopping for myself and then put the seal on. Maybe not 90%, but anyway, I'm not saying it's not important, guys. I lock my trailer at all times, other than just going damn near across the street from Love's to Walmart. Like I have empty trailers locked right now. But I ain't snitching on somebody for not having a lock on their trailer. Sorry. We can just have different perspectives, and that's fine. I don't work at Prime anymore, nor have I ratted out my drivers on the locks, but it does affect everyone. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Million Mile, he's watching. Jarvis, are you really watching? If anybody ever runs into Jarvis, who's Million Mile Man's brother, and give him shit about being ladies' man. The rumor is, Jarvis, even the driver advisory board brings it. It's in their minutes. The executive team at Prime, everybody's talking about this, Jarvis. You've got hoes in different area codes. That's what everybody's talking about it, bro. Beer gut. Willie, I'm gonna laugh about this to myself all night because I think it's fucking hilarious. 412, where are you? I'm in Indiana. Oh yeah, by the way, Willie, so Jarvis's response to that was, man, my brother is just talking some shit. And I'm like, I didn't hear this from your brother. I'm hearing this from everybody else. Oh, man. Jenna said Jarvis spends all his money on his dog and his lady and the ladies. Oh, man. Ghost Cat, how long does Pass Smart last? 30 minutes or an hour? Pass Smart Fat? I don't know what that is. Who remembers the drivers at the safety meeting that said someone called in on you for no lock? It's me. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I was like, yeah, you're a real fill in the blank. You're going to go on a live stream on all the socials and say, hey, I'm a snitch. I'm telling on my fellow drivers, and I'm proud of it. Boy, you're a real you're a hoot. I'm trying to really throttle the words that I want to use on that, but I had thoughts. What does DAB do though? So the driver advisory board, when I was on it, it just... So basically there's two things that happen in a meeting. Now the valuable part to me as a driver that happened during the meeting is Prime brings in every department and just really lays out behind the scenes inside look at like the top 10 customers and things that you get to test out. We got to test out parts of the app that were new that there's just a lot of things that they kind of bring you into the fold behind the scenes so you can give feedback and stuff like that, which is why I don't understand why the cameras ever got, the light of day. I would have thought that idea would have been burned to the ground with pitchforks if it was brought up at DAB. But then again, it's very possible that the kind of people that usually sit on DAB would be like, oh yeah, that sounds great. Because on the other half of it, you've got drivers on, at least when I was there were a lot of drivers who had no network, no connection to a lot of drivers, no influence with a lot of drivers. No, they weren't getting any feedback from a lot of drivers. I don't know why they were picked to be on a driver advisory board, but whatever. So they don't have any way to provide, to give you any sense of the pulse of the driver community because they're not connected to the driver community. And the information you give those individuals can't go convey that to the community because they don't have a network. They don't have an outlet for it. So the whole idea that those drivers are representing the driver community, but also conveying Prime's agenda properly to the driver community just didn't make sense to me when half the driver advisory board were hermits who lived in their truck and didn't have that many people they talked to. And then the other part of it is that like you'd spend time arguing about, like I feel like I remember this conversation when I was sitting there listening to people talking about, can we get more lighting on the yard at the terminal because we feel unsafe walking around the Prime terminal. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Jenna and I were a team truck, and I can't imagine a time where I've ever felt that it was unsafe for my wife or for me to walk anywhere at the terminal. Like, how was that something we spent so much time on? Lighting at the, can we get more lighting at the, so it's, so anyway, you have all the information that comes to drivers, and that was really helpful. It was really good to understand. It provided a really good understanding of some of, what was going on with some of the customers. But then when it was on the other side of the show, which was the drivers bringing up concerns and like voting on things, I just felt like that was just a huge waste of time because you get people who just want to stand up and talk. Like it's just a complete waste of time. Like instead of someone being like, hey, this is a big concern, I would love to have Prime's feedback on it, you would get like 10 other drivers stand up and be like, oh, well, here's how you deal with that. And what, are you doing this? Are you checking this on your truck? And it's like, oh my God, like this is horrible. Like when there's the live streams on Friday, what I hate, what drives me crazy, as Peter Griffin would say, what grinds my gears, is when someone stands up when they say, do we have any questions? And they don't ask a question, they instead act like they're running the meeting and start giving advice. They didn't ask anybody to stand up and give advice. They said, do you have any questions? You're not running the meeting. That's what happens at the driver advisory board. So now, the reason that Lyle mentions me, and I've talked to Lyle about this on the phone quite a few times, is that I was on the driver advisory board when the lock conversation occurred. Now, you have to understand that I think the conversation, I was there when it first came up. And when it came up, it was because we had multiple cargo thefts within a span of a couple weeks of unlocked trailers that, in the middle of the night, cargo was just taken right out of the back of the trailer. And there were legitimately some customers that were complaining about seeing some trailers that were unlocked. So the part of the conversation that I was supportive of is, like, if you come into the terminal without a lock, you're going to get hey, we got to put you in a system that you didn't have a lock. And then after a couple different times, if you're seen out there without a lock by someone at Prime or by a customer and it's reported, then, it might lead to a service failure or something like that. What was not a part of the conversation when I was on the driver advisory board was like giving some sort of incentive to other drivers to snitch drivers out. That was not part of the conversation. That was not a part of the conversation. Oh yeah, right, Jenna. And it was only on loaded trailers, correct. Only on loaded trailers. So, but I think and Lyle's giving me shit about it too, and I understand it, but Lyle, I think he's more of like, why did people not really kind of stand up and be like, guys, this is ridiculous, and I understand that. I think it just obviously rolled into something much more than it was when I was on the driver advisory board, and it was, the whole snitching thing was never a part of the conversation. I don't know when or how that came about, but I would have at that point, I would have had to stand up at the driver advisory board and be like, are we seriously, when we have such a great culture and such a great driver community, are we seriously advocating that we incentivize and encourage drivers to tell on each other for not having a lock on an empty trailer? And nobody sees the problem with this? So anyway, who's gonna mug you at the Prime terminal? Yeah, it was just like, what the fuck, man? I'm probably gonna miss a few comments here. I apologize. Terminal has one of the safest places, 100% safer than any truck stop. Yeah, exactly. I just could not believe that this was a serious, debated topic of why is there not better lighting at the terminal? What the fuck? Like, again, we're supposed to represent the driver community and the concerns of the driver community when we're on the driver advisory board. I've never heard anyone through social media or in person or in any scenario ever say we need more lighting at Prime, and damn it, that is high priority. If you have the OTR performance tools, okay, cheat code, you change everything. Okay, I like people saying I'm not safe at the terminal. It's crazy. Yeah. If I was ever there, I would ask them, why don't we charge customers for tolls anymore? Some customers barely want to pay tolls and costs. Yeah. Well, so just so you know, the tolls and the fuel surcharge are not there to make the customers pay for all the tolls and all the fuel. They're there to subsidize or at least pass part of the burden onto you. But I definitely agree that it should be in the contract for any trip that requires tolls. It should be line itemed even if it's just a subsidy, you know, to share that burden. Unfortunately, it's not. You didn't support the unloaded thing. Yeah, I definitely didn't. Lyle is a professional shit talker. Yes, he is. Rhinestones, yeah. Permanent victims, yeah. Yeah. So I just, so that was a very long-winded response to the question about the driver advisory board. I just think that you have a mix of people. Here's what you have. On the driver advisory board, you have a mix, at least when I was on it, you had basically three groups. You had the mouth-breathing cheerleaders that drink a gallon of prime Kool-Aid a day, that are going to clap like retarded dolphins at anything that's said to them. Then you have the group of drivers who just really have no influence or network whatsoever, and they can't speak for the driver community, nor can they speak to the driver community. And then you had a group of us who are on YouTube and social media that probably have the best pulse of the driver community and ability to talk to the driver community, but we're just sitting there going, what the fuck, to the other two groups the whole weekend. So that's how my experience on a driver advisory board was. Look, I'm not trying to rail on Prime or anything. I'm not trying to, just shit on Dab. I think it's a great concept, and I do think that some good things have come out of it, for sure. I'm just telling you my perspective and my experience when I was on it. That's how I saw it. Hopper, now that Wilson and Trans Am can park in our terminals, we need more parking. Yeah. Hey, Hopper, when you go to Springfield, man, that brand new lot in the back behind the training pad is really nice. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just shut my mouth, not say anything about it. I'm going to say, never mind. That lot doesn't exist. Mr. Not Nice, like I'm doing loads that require 40 to 150 worth of tolls and the customers aren't paying shit on it. Yeah, it sucks. Hey, everyone, and Jenna and Eric. O'Brien's son, howdy. Did my, what time is it? 7? Okay. And go make a smoothie here shortly. Call my attractive, yet often feisty better half, and then go pick up this load tonight. Wombats, word, I'm early. Definitely not late. Wombats, is that you over there cleaning the front of your, trying to get snow off your truck? Is that you? I think that's you. Shamarcus, up everyone. Man, you got 63. Boy, I went on some rants, bro. I went on some rants. I let it rip on a few subjects. Can you repeat that? Just started when you said, hey, Hopper. No, I don't want to repeat it. I'll tell you in private, because I realized I was sharing something on YouTube that I don't really want to be commonly known, because right now it's one of the best kept secrets. Yeah, I was just about to tell you I'm there. Oh, okay. Where's there, Wombats? Where are we parked? Inquiring minds want to know. Man, my bunk heater is on the bare minimum. It is cooking me out right now. Still snowing pretty hard in Indiana. They were saying 1 to 3 inches. I would say there's probably a good 4 to 6 right now. Classified, good answer. All right, everybody. So let's get a couple more. Oh, y'all, man, damn. Y'all are great on the thumbs up on this video. Thank you. That's awesome. I do have to film an actual video tonight. God, I just dread this whole night, man, because there's so much snow on the ground that just getting fuel. I got to do 2 dropping hooks. Again, this is a $9 a mile load, so I'm not complaining. But it's just going to be one of those, you're going to have to wear boots, and your floor is going to be soaking wet all night. And I mean, like, there's half a foot of snow on my steps, and then there's half a foot of fresh snow out, and I got to go walk the trailer and all that. I'm sick of it. Ghost Cat, good 4 inches of snow where you're at. Hopper, copy. You know how Peterbilts are. Silence the radio so you can concentrate. Yeah. I'll tell you what I don't understand about the Prime Terminal is why, and there's probably some of you in here that do it, and that's fine. I'm not like, please don't take this as a slight. But I don't understand why drivers park with their trailers in the loaded lot, especially on the 2 outside aisles, like the one facing the training pad and the one facing the terminal. Because you have all those bobtails that park there for whatever reason. And then on the other side, people drop trailers there. And when you're parked there, it makes it damn near impossible to pull a trailer out next to you. I've seen so many trucks and trailers rubbed by other trucks and trailers on those 2 aisles. I don't get it. Why would you do that? I'll tell you what I do, especially if I have some time, I'll drop my trailer. Like, I had this conversation with a driver when I was there a week ago because he was asking me where I was parked, and I was over by the water fountain. He's like, but aren't you loaded? I was like, yeah, man, I dropped my trailer. It's like, oh, it's too much work. No, it's not. It's not a lot of work to hook and unhook from a trailer, you guys. It's so much nicer to drop your trailer, move over somewhere nice and quiet or somewhere close to the terminal. You're out of the way. You're not a danger to anybody else. You're not in danger of getting your hood ripped off. And then just go back over and hook up to your trailer when you leave. But anyway, different strokes for different folks. If you're one who does that, fine. I'm not like bitching about you. I'm just saying I don't understand it. You're risking your own truck, and you're also risking the trucks and trailers of those around you. So my strategy, especially if I'm going to do like a 10-hour or more break at Prime with a loaded trailer, is I'll go find somewhere to drop my trailer and then bobtail wherever I'm going to park and just have some, but that's just me. Shamarcus, you see the post talking about driver made 301K and only 66,000 home. Either he is lying or there's a lot of context missing from the conversation. Grossed over 300K and only brought 66K home. What? No. Million Mile Man, I feel you on that. Hey, Million Mile Man is going to start his channel back up soon. I was expecting a no cap yesterday. That's what I told Jarvis. What are we at? Oh, we're well over an hour. All right, I'm going to wrap this one up, you guys. I need to figure out if I'm going to be able to drag this empty trailer out of this spot tonight. Like I said, I'm not afraid of getting on the highway and driving in this shit all night. What I'm not comfortable with is the fact that I got to pull an empty trailer out of my current mess. JB's 1099 said 300K probably, but that's before all expenses. Yeah, but JB, I don't know if this is a prime driver. 300K should not result in 66,000 net. I mean, that's like, so what's 300K, you'd be averaging what, 7,000 a week gross? I may be way off on that math. You're telling me that you're averaging 7,000 plus gross per week, but you're only bringing home 66K net a year? I have a very difficult time believing that. Catch you later, O'Brien. Yep, talk to you later. Thank you guys for stopping in. I'm okay driving in bad weather. It's the other drivers I have to worry about. Yeah, exactly. Outdated now. Everyone plays Fortnite. I hate Fortnite. I don't play that kind of game. GTA, yeah, is outdated. I do like GTA, but it got boring a long time ago. Jarvis, he gave all his money to the ladies with the com checks. Hey, Willie, ask Jarvis if when he meets a new girl, does he ask her if she has a Comdata account? What's your Comdata username? Hey girl, what's your Comdata username? Oh, Jarvis. I hope we can really make this a rumor. That shit is funny. Lepers, they do be pimping. All right, guys. Oh, who did I miss a super chat? Shit. How do I find that? Who did that? Who did the super chat? I can't find it. Can somebody tell me who did that? What is it, a comment that I missed? Jenna, does anybody know? Who did the $20 super chat? How did I miss that? Oh, Willie, thank you, man. I'm so sorry I missed it. I just saw it at the top of the screen. Million Mile, I'm so sorry, man. I missed it. What was the comment? Can you retype the comment real quick before I get off here? Did you leave a comment with it? It was a sticker, sticker from Willie. Okay, so it wasn't a... So wait, if I talk shit about Willie's brother, he gives me money? Is this how this works? Willie pays YouTubers to talk shit about his brother? A victory sticker. Okay. Yes. No more $4,500 500-mile trips for you, Daniel. Yeah. Million Mile, man. Well, hey, Willie, I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you guys. Now, Willie, you'll have to go live one of these days when you get your channel back up and running. And I'll get you on the flip side. So, all right, guys. Thanks so much for dropping in. Again, be safe out there. I know it's a mess. Hopefully it's going well for you guys, all things considered. Be safe, make good decisions, always drive to thrive. Talk to you soon.